Blessed Mother, Daughter of Hatred, Mother of Sanctuaries. Lilith has all these titles, but one question remains. Why is she the main antagonist of Diablo 4 instead of Diablo? I'm going to talk about who she is, her history, and her significance. Let's dive in. First off, in the hierarchy of demons, you have the three prime evils, Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal, and then you have the four lesser evils, Andariel, Belial, Duriel, and Asmodan. So where does Lilith fall into this picture? Lilith, daughter of hatred, is the daughter of Lord of Hatred, Mephisto himself. So that makes her Diablo's niece. Now, why would Diablo's niece be the cover of Diablo 4? The reason is, Lilith is the most significant demon when it comes to Sanctuary and humanity. And to be able to explain this, we can't skip talking about Inarius. So let's go way back and discuss their history. So for eons, there's a war between angels and demons called the Eternal Conflict, where they both are striving for an artifact called the World Stone. The World Stone has the ability to change reality and create new ones. So the angels want this to get rid of hell, and the demons want this to get rid of heaven. Aptly named, the Eternal Conflict is a never-ending war between the angels and demons to gain the power of the World Stone. During one of these battles, one of Tyrael's lieutenants, Inarius, ends up getting captured by Mephisto's forces and taken prisoner into hell. Now, who does Inarius end up meeting during his imprisonment? The Queen of the Succubi and Mephisto's daughter, Lilith. During his imprisonment, Lilith and Inarius found out that they actually have something in common. You see, since they've been fighting this eternal conflict for eons, both of them were sick of it. And not only were they sick of it, but they were aware of other demons and other angels that were also fed up with this war. So, devising a plan, Lilith frees Inarius, gathers like-minded demons, Inarius does the same with the like-minded angels, and they go and infiltrate the location of the World Stone, using it to create Sanctuary, the world of humanity and Diablo in the games today, and hide themselves and the World Stone there. Now, during their time in Sanctuary, Inarius and Lilith, as you know the story, they fall in love, they procreate and create humanity there. And the other angels and demons seeking refuge from the eternal conflict in Sanctuary do the same. But what ends up happening? We discussed this in last week's Nephilim video. The spawn are the Nephilim, and due to their half-angelic, half-demonic nature, they become stronger than either angels or demons. As such, this creates fear, and there's a lot of talk in the group of killing them so they don't overpower the existing angels and demons. Lilith, who has a strong motherly attachment to the Nephilim, in a fit of overprotective rage, kills all the angels and all the demons in Sanctuary except for Inarius. Inarius, furious but unable to kill Lilith due to his love for her, banishes her to the void. And during this time, Inarius tweaks the World Stone to empower himself and weaken future Nephilim, and that gave birth to humanity. Now, after a good deal of time has passed, Lilith escapes the void and returns back to Sanctuary under a disguise. This goes into a period called the Sin War, where I'm going to go into more detail about in next week's video. But essentially, Lilith returns to Earth, takes on a disguise, and through direct contact with her human children, awaken their Nephilim powers once more, and they're called the Edoram. Now, what you need to understand about Lilith, and what you can see in Diablo 4's depiction of her, in that she has two different colored eyes, is that Lilith does have dichotomous goals. On the one hand, she loves her children, and she loves Sanctuary and wants to protect them, but on the other, she wants power over it all. This is seen in the Sin War, in that she hides her disguise and seeks to be a puppet master to direct the Nephilim to overpower other forces, including those of Inarius, in Sanctuary. Now, ultimately, she does fail and get found out, losing the battle against the Nephilim that she awakened, Uldyssian, and upon her defeat, Inarius finds her in a weakened state, banishes her to the void once more. And that's the last that we see of Lilith until the events in the introduction cinematic of Diablo 4, where Elias tricks three individuals in summoning her to Sanctuary. Now that we know her history, we can talk about why she was chosen to be the main antagonist of Diablo 4. Now, if you haven't completed the Diablo 4 campaign, please be aware that the next section does go into spoiler territory. We understand Lilith is significant. She's a mother of Sanctuary, she's a daughter of Mephisto, but at the same time, in Diablo 1, we had Diablo, who is a primeval. Diablo 2, we had Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal, who are all primevals. And then Diablo 3, you had the combination of all the different evils into one. Now, these are all very powerful and very significant antagonists. So why is Lilith taking Helm, which is clearly not as powerful as these other ones? Now, in the hierarchy, she may not be as powerful as the prime evils. However, she does appear to be stronger than the lesser evils, because during the campaign, you see that both Andariel and Duriel are both under her service, and those two being the other lesser evils. So she is more significant than them. But then another piece to keep in mind is that Lilith may be the only demon that has had so much direct influence over humanity that she was able to build an army of followers. So in Diablo 4, the reason that Elias summons Lilith in the first place is because there is an inkling that Hell is coming back to Sanctuary, and Elias saw Lilith as a means of protecting them against that. In Diablo 4, we can see that Lilith's strategy completely changed from that of the Sinmore in the past, where she would disguise herself to influence humanity that way. This time, she's not hiding her true form at all. In fact, people either follow her, or if they get in their way, she makes sure they pay for it and are either sacrificed or outright killed. So now we have two different criteria for Lilith's strength. One, she's very influential over humanity. Two, she is stronger than the lesser evils because she has two under her direct command. But then there's also three. What is Lilith's goal when she's first summoned? To get more powerful. And what is her mean to do that? Her whole goal in Diablo 4 is to get the key to Hell, go into Mephisto's territory, and absorb his essence. Because then she'll enhance her power with that of a prime evil, being her father. Now, why is this so important? It explains to us why the prime evils are not the mainline villains of the base game. And that's because they haven't reformed in Hell yet. So speaking to demonology in the Diablo series, when a demon dies, they do become reborn within Hell. The more powerful they are, the longer this process takes. The only other way they can speed in this is by getting entrapped in the Soul Stone and getting a vessel to take the Soul Stone into them. And that way, the primeval can respawn with the vessel as their host within Sanctuary. Now, if this is not the case, because remember, at the end of Diablo 3, what happened? Malthael destroys a Black Soul Stone, absorbs its essence, and upon his defeat, those souls of the prime and lesser evils return back to Hell, where those demons are then reborn. So this goes to show that if Mephisto in the story of Diablo 4, his essence is still being reborn and is incomplete, the same can be said about both Diablo and Baal. They're probably still reforming in Hell. And so in the interim, that's why Lilith was chosen as the antagonist of Diablo 4. So that's it for the history of Lilith and her significance of Diablo 4. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing, commenting with your thoughts, and giving the video a like to support the channel. And stay tuned for next week's video, where we'll go into the Sin War when the heavens first discover Sanctuary and it is spared by Tyrael.